Welcome to Ain't Scared Garage. We're going to sort out the vacuum lines on this turd. Stand by. There's a lot I want to do. I want to redo the vacuum lines on this truck, all of them. I want to take the plenum off so that I can get to them, because you can't get to the lines. They run under the plenum and I can't really see where they are. But we're going to start off with a simple fix that you may need to do if your defroster doesn't work, right? Your defrost works, but your heat valves don't, or your heater on the floor or your air conditioning vents don't work. It just stays on defrost. That means the vacuum controller that moves the doors that take your air to the top and bottom and all isn't opening. Now, I've heard people online call it the blend air door. It's not the blend air door. Blend air door does something completely different. It actually blends the cold and hot air from the air conditioning and the heater so that you get the proper temperature when you turn your little knob. So all the stuff on these trucks is controlled by vacuum, and it's a pain. Another thing that can happen is you're out on the road and you got the air conditioning going, it's low in your face and everything's really nice, and you hit the gas and all of a sudden the vents stop blowing and the defroster starts blowing, and then it comes back. That's because you may have a bad vacuum canister, and the vacuum canister isn't storing vacuum. If you've ever looked under the hood and you see something that looks like a can of beans, vacuum canister stores vacuum so that when you hit the gas and the ported vacuum comes in and the manifold vacuum drops, that you still maintain all the adjustments until you go back to manifold vacuum, because manifold vacuum comes into the canister and it has a line that comes out and goes to little things like your heating and air conditioning system. This is your control valve here. This pulls like this to change the doors in there, to change it from whether it's on your floor or whether it's on your vents or whether it's on the defrost. All the way out is defrost. It's set that way on purpose so that you're always safe, because you can always keep your windows clear. I've already cut this open here. So here's what we have. This was all in this conduit here. Takes all these wires in the vacuum line. This is the vacuum line here. This is the one that goes here. Goes right here. If you can see that, that's one that goes right in there. And since it was inside of this conduit, this is all still good. But from here out, it's just nasty and dry rotted where it had all the heat on it and everything and the weather. So we're going to cut this off right about here, and we're going to make this work. So since this line is good, I can use it. This was the end that was off of the other end. It goes here like that, and then it plugs in down there. I had a fit getting that out of there. As a matter of fact, I had to cut this open. Right there. I had to cut this open to get it out of there. So I got it out of there. I'm gonna use a little bit of that liquid electrical tape. Make sure everything seals up good. The first thing I'm gonna do, before I even do that, is I need to get a good piece. I need a good line here. Cut this like that. Make sure I clean the end out a little bit. Make sure. Now that vacuum line should work just fine. So I pulled this out of the conduit. What I'm going to do is this whole conduit's going to go back on here. Get this all back in there. Just like that there. And then we'll tape that all up. But I'm going to leave this one out because it's going to go right there. And that'll solve that problem right away. Back off of there. I'm going to actually put it here. That way I'm not getting anything on that end when I put that up in there. don't want that to cause obstruction of vacuum. If you squeeze it here, you could feel right there. Let's see, that's where it is. There's more. And now I'm right there. So I got plenty of room left here where I can squeeze. I don't know if you can see it or not, because the end of it's right there. So bring it in and put it on. All right. Now, take a little tie strap here, and I'll cut this off later once everything is nice and dry. I'm just going to tighten that up there and make sure that the whole thing is tight around there, and that'll glue that shut, and that'll be a perfect fit. That'll be a perfect fit for the plugging in. And that's the quick fix that I'm talking about. If it doesn't work at all, if your vents don't move at all, that's your quick fix right there. Another problem is when your vents move from one to the other, and that's generally your vacuum canister. And this is your vacuum canister right here. And as you see, it's all rusty and nasty. I don't know if there's any holes in this one or not. We'll look at it a little closer, but if it just gets a pinhole in it, then it won't hold vacuum anymore, and therefore it won't keep your vents where they need to be. You can get these at Rock Auto. Like I said, it looks like a can of beans, you know. This is the one I just bought for this truck. Got a couple bolts, just bolts down to the fender well, and it plugs in right here. And we're gonna put this in. Now, what I did was I put clear coat on this because they'll rust out fast. So hopefully the clear coat will keep this from rusting. So this is already unhooked because, you know, my fender well's been out. All I gotta do is unplug this right here from the vacuum lines. Just like that. This little plug here that just plugs right into these here. And see, this is the old one. You see how rusty this is? But if I take some sandpaper to it, we'll find some leaks, and it probably leaks along in here anyway. Of course, I don't know for sure, because I've never driven the truck yet. So, all I gotta do is take your new one, and it's gonna plug up right here, like that, there. And you can throw a couple bolts in it, and bolt it down here to the fender well. Where'd they go? Doesn't go in there. I'll use them. And then it'll just set here. There's a couple bolt holes that this goes in. And you can see this. Like I said, it's a can of beans. It really is. There's one in the junkyard. I looked at it. It was all rusted out. There's nothing inside there. Nope. I've seen worse. This might not even leak. You could test it with a vacuum gauge, but it didn't cost that much. I replaced it. Next one I'm going to do is also for the heater control, and that's the main one right here. Let's see, we got a couple here that I have to figure out. This one actually does go inside. Somehow we have vacuum here. This goes straight into the heater box to here. And this one's broke, so we have to fix that. I got to get that off there. But it also goes directly up here into the main manifold vacuum and goes in here where the where that other vacuum line we just fixed came out of. Let's see, I'm having a hard time getting this off of here. Don't want to damage anything. I need that to come off. Got it. This is 3/16 inner diameter. I think it's the right size. put that right on there, and that fits on there beautifully. That hose has to be about that long, and that's about it. Right there should be perfect. What's that silicone vacuum line? Seems to be good stuff, so I'm using it. I'm gonna pop that bad boy over there. That vacuum line is fixed. This one here, I'm not really wanting to mess with too much because this one goes up inside and it's still good for some reason. I'm gonna leave that one because I don't really feel like digging on the dashboard. I know if I need to, it's black and I can find it under there. But for now, we're just gonna leave it just like it is. It looks all right. I think it pulls in a vacuum. I don't know what the restriction is in here, but I think after replacing that one, I'm gonna put this back on. We're gonna leave this one just like it is. Yep. I'll leave that one just like it is. And a full vacuum out. Into there. Heating and air conditioning system. That's fixed. I really don't want to pull the plenum, but let's see how far we get. I just read one here. We'll see where it goes. It's going right down here. This is the fuel pressure regulator valve, which I'm gonna have to change. I think the guy who had it before said that he's pretty sure he put a V8 one on here, which is 30 pounds of pressure, and the 6-cylinder takes 60 pounds. And I got him, but let's see what it is. Now, I'm gonna leave that one alone for now because it's okay. So I know this one's broke here. It's the thermactor valve. Yeah, I know it's pollution controls, and it doesn't need pollution controls anymore because it doesn't have to be inspected. This line here seems to be okay. Going up in there, I have to remember where this goes. If you look right down there between there, you can see a pink line. And it's hard for me to get the camera in there, but it goes right behind the motor that way. Let me see where it comes out. Found a pink line here. I'll be giving it a pull, and just a gentle pull because I don't want to break it off anything. Yep, there it is. Not connected to anything. So this is going to go under here and around to there. Now the question is, do I have a long enough hose that I can just replace this? Let me see. This thing is way in here. I'm all the way down here, the pink line. That one goes here, and I figured it is connected to a double connector here. Yep. So what I have to do, pull this apart. And we get that off of there. I have this black line I'm using, and everything's color coded to that chart on the hood. So I couldn't find any pink shrink wrap. And when you shrink wrap the color coded, there's black on the truck, there's red on the truck, there's pink on the truck. So I don't want to use the red because there's red already on it. I'm going to use the yellow to mark it's close to. This will be the pink because it's the only color that's not in there. So I'm just going to mark it on the ends so that when somebody goes in here, they'll know what they have. And we'll just put the heat shrink over here. This here on this end. There. Now it's marked. Now, yeah, I get it, it's yellow, but when you look at the code and you'll see black lines and red lines, but no pink lines, you ought to be able to figure it out that it's yellow. Of course, I'll know it's my truck, so whatever. So I gotta feed this back under the plenum. I may not have to take this plenum off, which I'll be real happy not to. Let's just feed this under here. Plug into there. I'm just going to stick it on there for now. I'll get the rest of this around there. Right here. Plug it in this here. That. And we'll plug this one back into there. That. A short tug. Unplug it again. Cut it right here. Put our yellow heat shrink on. Put my yellow heat shrink on right here, so we mark it the other end of it, so anybody ever goes to look, they'll see a yellow one on this side, yellow one on that side. Okay, that must be the hose that we need to follow. Get a little hot. There. We'll do that heat shrink again. I want that heat shrink to hold that angle. That should do it. I didn't even think about it, but that's even an extra. Well, that's on there. Honestly, I think that's my last one, so I didn't have to take that out. I'm really happy about that. We got it running. Starts hard. Kind of idles rough a little bit. We got to figure that out. But here's what we got with that. Don't seem to have a vacuum leak. So now, let's see if I turn this knob here, the floor. There's going to go down on the floor. You see how that thing moved? All right, when I turn this again up to defrost, you'll see that control valve move. All right. See how that did? That just changed the air doors to put it down there. If I put it over here, on air conditioning, it changes it again, so it puts it here. Unfortunately, the air conditioning doesn't work. But we'll figure that out. That's got the vacuum lines all buttoned up. The reason the truck wasn't running right is it looked like when we put the bed on, we may have pinched the fuel line and starving for fuel. It's running off the back tank just fine. So we'll look into that later. But for now, that's going to be a wrap. See you next time.